All right. We are here. Good morning, everyone. Do we have multi-chat working? Do we have multi-chat working? It doesn't look like it's working. Tonikio, Cosmi Savant, Siko, Holliswood, Camille, what's up? Temet, how are you doing, guys? Yeah, somehow it looks like the multi-chat is broken again. So let me check something real quick. Okay, here it's working. Oh my gosh, how are we gonna do that? How are we gonna manage that? That's gonna be a tough one, boys. This one is broken. You see, I really like YouTube. I think YouTube overall is way better. Is actually way better than YouTube than Twitch when it comes to streaming. And I've been streaming like on Twitch since Justin TV, right? But the only issue with YouTube is the management of chat. If we could have a better management of chat, I will be so happy. It will be like changing my life. So, hello Cardiac, Sensei, Mitch. How is everybody doing? Mirko, what's up? YouTube chat is not the best. It's laggy, not easy to use. It is, but the video on YouTube is way better. And my video always stay on. Think about it. I live stream for a living every day of the week for I think 5 years, something like that. And none of my video are still there. Like they all disappeared. All my work. All my life disappeared like that on Twitch. On YouTube, the video will always be there. And they are reachable, right? It's like if someone is looking after like the latest stream or the stream before or the stream before, guess what? They're still there. Hey, hello Sunrise. What's up, dude? I'm doing well. What about you? Only thing better on Twitch is the chat. I agree. And the other issue with Twitch is the fact that we have, I think like, I calculated on a 60 minutes of like stream, I would have around like between 10 and 50 minutes of advertising. So maybe it would be great because some of the viewers, they would have to, you know, sub to not watch the actual advertising, but why not? It will be maybe more money for me at the end. But like what an awful experience for all the ones that just can't pay, right? Can't support the channel. Thank you for helping with Diablo 4. Hey, no worries, bro. Doing fine. How are you? I was a little worried. Hey, no worries, man. I had to do something. Like, I'm sorry, like the stream was a little bit delayed. The start of the stream was a little bit late, but no worries, I'm still around. You don't even have sub button on Twitch, dude? Oh, I know. I don't have it because I broke my contract with them, Temet. I had a contract with them, but because they literally like F me over, like hardcore. I was like, I had some people who are not even watching the stream for like, I don't know how long, but they were still paying, right? And I was like, it wouldn't be fair for them to continue to pay me if I'm not on the platform anymore. So I break the contract with Twitch. So I'm like, You won't get any money from my community anymore. I'm out. So there is no sub button on Twitch. And I'm actually just streaming on Twitch just to say I'm also on Twitch. But I really encourage everyone to come on YouTube. Like literally, like, because at the time, I think I still have like 17 or 18,000 followers on Twitch left. Because I had way more before. But a lot of them, they just left because I'm not doing the content I was doing before, so it's fair, right? By the way, cheers everyone. Feels good. Okay, so we got the chat back, which is a good start. We got the chat back. We are here. What are we gonna do today? So today, we're gonna do, I called it an edito. I don't know what it is really. Like I put this word there. And I wanna watch some video about Linux, some selection of video, and kind of like react to them. That's gonna be the idea. Okay. And see if there is some content we can talk about together, if there is topics that could interest us, or even like topic we could develop in the future. So I'm gonna start as a base with our buddy, like Nico from the Linux experiment, because he has this video with like news on it, where he talk about Linux. And I think it could be interesting to watch it together, react, have discussion about it. You know, just to exchange together. I would like this channel to always be more around like exchanges. I like, the more I stream about like Linux and this type of content, I think it's great when we exchange about different subjects. React meta? I don't think I'm gonna do a full React meta, dude, but I think there is some discussion we can have. And I like, you know, I like starting with a blank Canva and talk, you know, about it. That's what I like to do. Oh yeah, and we still have the guy which is upset about high precision event timer. HPET timer, dude. Oh boy. You know what I want to do one day? One day we're gonna do a stream where I react live to some of the comments. I know that there is a lot of content creators who are doing that, dude. Hey, hello Cupelix, how are you doing? Like, some of those comments, they are so mad. Some of those comments are so insane, dude. Which is fine by me, right? Like, we all have the right to speak. And I'm not removing the comment from my YouTube video, but some of them are just like, oh. What a strange thing to get mad about, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, you know, I made this video. So my latest video, so let's talk about that. I think it's cool. The latest video I made, okay, I'm gonna share that with you, chat. I think it's good. Let's start with that. Okay. I think it's gonna be fun. I don't know if you saw my latest video. So if you go at my videos there, here, okay. And yes, I'm on Windows because I'm planning to play Wukong. I really like this game, and on Linux I can't play as I want, so we're gonna play on Windows. So I made this video there. Should you use Windows 11 or Linux for gaming? And by the way, the people who are here and participate, they are on TV there. And this video was fairly a banger, chat. Like 4,000 views in like 2 days, not bad. Okay. And then I made this video. And this video is about what is the real impact of switching to Linux while gaming. And I didn't write this title before. I wrote another title, okay? And man, like people, they were so mad. So this video is not my best video, chat. Like, let's be honest. I think I missed the boat with this video. Like this video, not good. Okay, I put this title and I was like, why you need more FPS in gaming and in between like brackets, and especially on Linux. And the idea of this video was really to show like how you need even more FPS on Linux because you have some type of penalty switching from Windows to Linux depending on the game you are playing. And so you really need a big machine, right? This was the whole, like, if I had to do this video in like 2 minutes or one sentence, this will be the topic of this video. And I kind of like explain what it's all about in it. Okay, so I did that. Man, people, they were losing their mind. Just losing their mind, chat. Like this is it looked like it's good, like I have 2,000 views and stuff, and you're like, oh, it's not bad, but it's still bad. It didn't go through as I wanted to go through. Hello, Yotos. I got an offer for RX 6600 and a Ryzen 5 5600 CPU PC. I was thinking about building a Linux with this future-proof for 2-3 years. Future-proof, I don't know, but yeah, it's gonna work. It depends on the size of your screen and if you want a game, right? I don't know what you're gonna do with a PC. Almost every YouTube channel I subscribe to change the title of each video like 5 times over the course of their first day it's live. Yeah, so there is another thing, Cupelix. Now, so I don't have access to it as a content creator now, even if I'm a YouTube partner and whatever. But there is tool right now within YouTube where you can propose different title and different thumbnail. So then the algorithm kind of choose for you. So it's funny because when I switch, for example, from Windows to Linux, and I look at one video or one channel, I won't have the same thumbnail on YouTube. I didn't even notice that before because I was not using Windows anymore. But you can see like the channel itself is different. So me, I don't have access to that. Yeah, they have A and B testing, exactly. I didn't know if you heard about that. So yes, this is what they have. But not all the creators have access to it. Hello Pacific, hello Victor, what's up? My cache guru adopted some tweaks from your latest caches guide, legit magically found more stability and extra 30 FPS out of my 3070. Dude, welcome to Linux. I'm happy you are enjoying it. Hello Radical, good morning. Cypher, what's up? Temet, I saw before a video from a French guy with the AMD GPU just a few hours ago, comparing Windows and Linux, and it was not great for us. Who was doing that, Temet? There is an A and B thumbnail testing currently, yes. So some users, they have access to it. I don't. I'm not sure if you can, I believe you can do it with the title too. I wish I had access to this. I'm good, second day in school, didn't went smoothly, I broke Windows on teacher laptop. What the heck, bro? Why would you do that, man? Mr. Beast has like 100 thumbnails for his video, I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, but then I need someone working like full time on the thumbnail. Look, you see those thumbnails? They suck. Okay, like let me tell you, they suck. But you know how much time I spent on it? Channel is Steve. Oh, yeah, I know Steve. I know Steve, yeah. So he said, so what was the TLDR of the video? Best Justin TV channel was a 24/7 Stargate channel. Never watched it. I've moved to Linux completely for my work as for now, using CachyOS and Hyperland. I just use Windows for Valorant and some games. Nice, dude. I tried to install printer driver and Windows didn't boot again. Good job, buddy. Comparing some perf on game on Windows and Linux. And Windows was winning versus Linux. I'm a designer and I did set up Affinity app successfully on Linux and it's working very good, and Figma is available on Linux. Nice. Nice, Pacific. Good for you, dude. Yeah, I agree with you. It didn't go until the end, but majority for the first few games, Windows was crushing Linux. Yeah, it depends on the game. It depends on the game, dude. But I'm surprised that with an AMD card, Windows was still on top. I understand why it would not be on top on Linux, but I don't understand why it would not be on top with with NVIDIA, but I don't understand why it wouldn't be on top with AMD. Because the drivers are open, right? So it should be working. Okay, so let's try to react to this video. See if there is something interesting this week. So if you don't know this gentleman, his name is The Linux Experiment. He's French, and he has a really great channel, so I invite you to go and, watch his video, subscribe, everything. We're gonna watch it. Also, Nico, if you get a copyright or whatever because I'm watching your video live, you do whatever you want to do. Okay, broski? But yeah, I'm gonna do that today. You do what you have to do. No string attached.
To the Linux and open source news show. This week we've got some drama around the use of Rust in the Linux kernel and the recently merged Bcache FS file system, with a maintainer leaving on the one hand and giant patches being submitted when they shouldn't be on the other. In both cases, Linus Torvalds isn't super happy about this.
So, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but there is always drama in Linux chat. There is always drama in Linux. It's funny because, listen, dude, listen, chat, I would say, the more the community is small, how do I word that in English? The smaller the community, the more drama we have. Bro, there is always drama, chat. I literally was reading an Ars Technica article about this. Okay, so let's get into it. The smaller the community, the bigger some ego are in it.
We also have a new gaming console from the EmuDeck project that runs Linux, but might be a bit too expensive for what it does. And we also have KDE looking at ways to generate more donations because they kinda need that. And we also have this segue to our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Squarespace, and you'll even get 10% off your first domain or website purchase.
Okay.
So, Linus Torvalds spoke at the Linux Foundation's Open Source Summit in China at the end of last week, and he talked about the state of the Linux kernel, pointing out that their work is never done. For example, they're still dealing with basic stuff like memory management issues, and the Real-Time Linux project, which finally reached a state where it's ready 20 years after it was introduced.
So what is... Guys. What is the Real-Time Linux project? What is this, chat? Real-Time Linux project. Like, oh my god. Real-Time Linux project. I'm tired today, guys. We might have to go Dark Reader because you're gonna lose your eyes with that. Sorry about that, boys. I'm gonna do that real quick. Yep. And yes, sorry about that. Okay. Intro to Real-Time Linux for Embedded Developer. When embedded project call for a real-time operating system, Linux developer often turn preempt the real-time kernel patch to get it done. Makes Linux into a real-time system. A Linux kernel developer, Red Hat, and maintainer of the stable version of the real-time Linux kernel patch. The thing is that in most cases, real-time requirement on unbugged project can meet without returning real-time operating system. The developer real-time system. Is it that? I don't think it is this. You'll come to know what the requirements are. At the moment, probably doesn't require a real-time operating system because it's not too hard to create code that will make it the... I don't think it's that, chat. It's something else. Yeah, Cupelix. Because I know about the real-time kernel, for example. And this is exactly what you defined, but... Maybe I didn't understand what I was talking about here. Of course, Tova, as mentioned earlier, later this year we'll have the 20th anniversary of the Real-Time Linux project. This is a project that literally started 20 years ago, and the people involved are finally on that point where they feel like it's done. How can it be done? Are they gonna push real-time to the main kernel? Hello, Fezzy. Thank you very much for the super chat, dude. 20 pounds. Hey, Max. Have a few beers. Let's have another great stream from the Linux god. Crème de la crème for light. Thought on PKOS moving to Debian. So, bro. Thank you very much for the 20 pounds. You're insane. Thanks a lot. Much appreciated. When it comes to PKOS, I'm going to be reviewing it. I don't know if you watched my video about it when it was still PKOS on Ubuntu PKOS 3. And I was really excited to their new release on Debian. But I heard it's still on alpha, so I'm not going to touch it until it's a little bit more solid. Because, I like to review stuff when they are ready. That's the idea. Thank you very much again for the 20 pounds donation. Oh my god. Thank you very much, dude. Linux with more RAM than native Windows due to this phase. I'll explain bad result for Steve. He said he will do a second video. Okay.
Torvalds also reminded the audience that updating to the latest kernel is not necessarily optional, because the longer you delay an update, the harder it becomes to actually apply it, and it becomes virtually impossible to patch older kernels as time goes on, because even the kernel dev team can't help people with that if the kernel is too old. He specifically mentioned that for a bunch of Chinese IoT vendors who still use the Linux kernel 4 point something, which is woefully outdated and should...
Bro, imagine you are using the kernel 4.9 on your IoT device, dude. Like, just think about it, chat. Think about it. Is Cosmic on your radar? Yeah, I already tried it, but it's still an alpha still. I made a stream about it. You can go watch it, but really, like, there is nothing to talk about yet. Nothing to talk about yet when it comes to gaming. Cosmic itself is in my opinion, like one of the best. I say one of the best. He has one of the best potential for desktop environment, but that's all. Right now, it's just a potential. We need to see how it works in the future.
Not be used by anyone, really. Now, Torvalds is also disappointed in the rate of updates to Rust support in the kernel, saying that there's a lot of pushback from old hands in the Linux community who don't see Rust as a solid enough language, especially stating that the Rust infrastructure itself isn't that stable. And we'll talk about that in the next point of that video.
So, you see, like, this is interesting. So as I understand it, I don't know if we have some dev in the chat, okay? I'm not a dev. I don't know a lot about languages. I have some basics, but I'm not, like, it's not my area of expertise, okay? Rust apparently will give a substantial boost to the kernel because Rust is apparently, and correct me if I'm wrong, is one of the fastest language out there. Like, it's going fast. Okay. And somehow, when it's getting pushed, as Nico mentioned it, like this gentleman there from the Linux experiment, there is some type of issue with it being integrated within the kernel. And, you know, we are watching that right now, but I've read a lot of articles. Like, I think it was on Phoronix because I'm reading a lot of things. Like, somehow, they don't want Rust in it. The other devs which are working on the kernel. So it's not faster than C. Are you sure about it, Temet? I read it was faster than C. Rust is pretty fast and also pretty secure when it comes to dealing with memory, yes. Okay. It's just easier to debug and handle memory. Rust isn't faster than C. The kernel is written in C. Yeah, I know that. But they were saying that it might improve, like, I thought it was related to speed. It's memory safe. Okay, so, okay. Which is really the big advantage. Okay, so this is what come up, right? It's not faster than C. A language can be fast. So why could it not be fast? For example, like if a language... So tell me if I'm wrong, okay? I'm just theory crafting there. If a language can, for example, authorize multiple operations at the same time and the other does not, on paper, the language we can like parallelize operation will be faster. You know what I mean? That's why I was thinking it was something like that. One question, what do you think about Ubuntu? Lubuntu? Everything with the Ubuntu name on it, I just don't think. I just pass. Ayub. Ratmar, no fastest, but more memory secure. Okay, people are reluctant to change. It's not a Rust and not Rust issue, it's a people issue. Rust is on par with C, C++, but has many advantages including memory safe. Agree. Saying a language can be fast is a pedantic argument. Hello, Cypher. Your CPU doesn't run C or run Rust, which is why a language can be fast. Got it. It's named Lubuntu with a L. And I said, I repeat, every distro that contain Ubuntu in the name or which has Ubuntu somewhere, I don't even look at them. So I can't give you an answer. Does it make sense, Ayub? And if it doesn't make sense, I'm going to give you a ban with a big B. All right? Hope you understand my sense of humor here. Okay, so let's get into it. So it's more. So I guess it's more a big B like Babuntu. Yes. Okay, let's get into it.
That in the next point of that video. Torvalds concluded on AI, saying that he's skeptical about the current hype, like any sane person would be.
Okay, this was good. So I like this creator because he come with this little thing. I need to do more of that in my video, dude. Listen.
Isn't that stable, and we'll talk about that in the next point of that video. Torvalds concluded on AI, saying that he's skeptical about the current hype, like any sane person would be.
This is good, chat. I need to go more in this type of thing. Oh, got it, Ayub. Listen. La baisse Roya. Okay, no, I stop. Listen, Ayub. Next time you come to my channel, you say hi. Okay? You start with a polite approach. You say, hey, what's up? You know? So you don't need to say La baisse Roya, obviously, but you say in English because everybody's speaking English here. And then we start a nice conversation. You know what I mean? There is no dog here, you know? We're just human being discussing, having fun together. So that's the spirit I would like to have here. Okay, buddy? And no, I no Ubuntu. Burke. So let's get into it. So it's funny because Linus, he doesn't like AI. I don't know if you watched chat. Okay, but I watched the Intel, little presentation they made yesterday about their new CPU because I'm gonna upgrade my CPU at a certain time. I don't think I'm gonna upgrade in the coming months. It's gonna be maybe beginning of next year. But man, they put AI everywhere on a laptop, bro. I'm really curious to see how everything's gonna work. I'm telling you, chat, because my 3090 and my Threadripper are kind of like struggling sometimes to run like some small model. I can't imagine a laptop with 25 watt CPU how it's gonna go, dude. I'm really curious to see that. Hey, hello Norman, how are you, buddy? Rust allows for reordering structure and enum element to reduce the size of structure in memory for better memory alignment and improve caches. So yeah, there is a real value added when it comes to memory, guys. You see, this is what I want on this channel. Like we watch something together, we got an exchange, we learned something. I love that. Norman, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
But he does hope that these tools will help with code review and bug detection. He also said that it got big vendors much more interested in the Linux kernel, like Nvidia, who, according to Torvalds, are now on his list of companies doing really good work. Probably because all AI work happens on Linux virtually, and Nvidia's Linux support was lackluster at best.
Whoa. What did I see, chat? Do we have Nvidia hater in the chat? Did you hear what I said, dude?
Even though they are one of the GPU vendors who benefited the most from that AI hype. And finally,
Bro, if Linus, the big guy from Linux, and the Linux kernel actually, is saying that finally he likes the way like NVIDIA is actually working there with Linux, it's pretty good. Is this gaming? No, it's not gaming. But this is the thing. I do believe that what they're gonna have to do on the Linux side for the server is gonna be good for us at the end of the day. That's what I believe. Okay, Camille, okay. It is easier to improve over time, so intelligence could not actually improve from years to year. Yep. At best, is putting it mildly. But you remember, chat, you remember this video of Linus giving the finger during this interview? It was like 10 years ago. And now he's changing his mind. I don't know the guy personally, but I think he's a smart guy. Because he's changing his, point of view and approach towards something, so I have to respect that, dude.
And asked if he had any grand vision for open source in the face of more and more cloud-based stuff or proprietary software, he said he didn't really, and he never really had one, because he's just an engineer. And that's probably why I really like the guy. He had some bullying problems in the past and some unsavory behaviors, but nowadays he seems like just a dude who likes what he's doing around Linux and he just wants Linux to get better, and I can only respect that now.
Ah, okay. So, dude, I didn't watch this video before, guys. I just play it with you, and Nico has exactly the same reaction as me. He's like, I like this guy. With the fact, so he didn't exactly say the same thing. He worded it differently, but I think he liked it for the same, I would say, like, quality that Linus showed by saying that, he changed his mind. We have a saying in French that say only the really dumb people are not changing their mind. Which means like you change, like by changing your mind, you're showing proof of intelligence, kind of. Only an idiot sticks with his belief. Just because he always believes them, I face with new evidence. Okay, so is it the same? Cosmic? In English, is that an idiom? Only an idiot stick with his belief. Yeah, this is literally like the translation of what we say in French. French thinks the same. Yeah, maybe. It's just your fault? Okay, so we literally have an idiomatic who said that in French. Between that and the 55 and 56 driver, I think there are nearly as many reasons to hate on NVIDIA Linux than there was then. I agree. Yep, it's changing. It took some time, chat. Like 3 years ago was not the same.
Happy birthday, Marty.
Oh, darn. Darn. So I might have to remove the stream from today, like because we are going into unknown territory right now. I know that Nico could copyright strike this video, which would be fair. That's okay. And I know that maybe those guys, they could copyright strike. Where is my YouTube Premium subscription, man? Listen, dude. The struggle is real those days. Like now you talk about that. Listen. Guys, I don't think you realize, but the struggle is real, okay? I'm in this weird position where should I ask more, should I ask more money for the viewer or should I not? So when it comes to decision making, when it comes to spending money, YouTube Premium is not in my, let's say it's not in my radar. Have you heard about the Maslow pyramid? We're at the bottom right now, buddy. We'll start to think about the fancy stuff later. Okay, this is the idea. Okay, I won't be too heavy on that. People who understood, they understood. For the other, well.
Linux-related drama. One
Oh,
of
okay,
the
so what's
Rust
happening now?
maintainers for the Linux kernel decided to step down from that project, as they apparently got tired of dealing with non-technical nonsense, by which I can only assume they refer to people who keep talking about whether Rust should or should not be used in Linux, whether other languages would be a better fit, or whether specific ways of handling specific things in Rust are good or bad.
What? What? You don't understand it. Okay, I'm retiring from the project. After almost 4 years, I find myself lacking the energy and enthusiasm I once had to respond to some of the non-technical nonsense. So it's best to leave it up to those who still have it in them. What? Oh, like, what is this guy saying? The move is being driven, at least in the part, due to having not to deal with increased non-technical nonsense. Like, I'm not into the mail exchange of the developer of this, but it sounds like who need YouTube Premium when you have uBlock Origin? Broski. You know, you are doing that. But when you watch my video without uBlock, I'm not getting any revenue, broski. I'm literally working for free. Think about it, broski. Just put one of my longest playlists, deactivate uBlock, and put it in repeat. Do something like that, Ivan. It will help me. At least, if you are using uBlock Origin. It will be fair, I think.
Specific ways of handling specific things in Rust are good or bad, when actually Rust in the Linux kernel is a done deal. It's been greenlit, it's started. People should now talk about how to make things work and work well.
I don't want to give you a revenue for a video about a Russian game. Bro, I think I have 400 videos on my channel, and I made like top 5 video about Escape from Tarkov. So there is 395 video. 395 video, broski. Which are not talking about your argument there. So, not sure about this, dude. Sounds like the peanut gallery is getting on their nerve, so they are tapping out before they say something unforgivable to somebody important. The peanut gallery? What is that? What is this? What is a peanut gallery?
Instead of discussing if it should be done at all. At any rate, this maintainer, Wetson Almeida Filo, is a Microsoft engineer who contributed a lot to Rust support in the Linux kernel.
Nice.
He is now giving up. He concluded his last post by saying that ignoring new languages is a good way to make sure another project does to Linux what Linux did to Unix.
Oh. Oh, okay. I truly believe the future of kernel is with memory-safe languages. I'm no visionary, but if Linux doesn't internalize this, I'm afraid some other kernel will do to it what it did to Unix. So it's kind of like the way he presents it is like the actual like group of maintainers are refusing is like, I guess, like PR. Just because it's based on Rust. Like, this is the way, like, me from an external standpoint, I would say this is why he's leaving. Which is bad, right, chat? If it's just the hate of the language itself, like, because what you said in chat mean, like, to me, it sounds like Rust come with a lot of value added, right? And especially when it comes to memory management. So I'm like, if there is a value added, why are we not incorporating it? So maybe there is another side we don't know about related to Rust, but those guys know.
And look, most of my development knowledge is in HTML, JavaScript, CSS, PHP, and only in the way I can read and understand the code and what it does, but I couldn't really write it myself. So
okay, it's fair. Like I'm even worse than this gentleman, because he has some base on PHP and stuff. Like I can read it, but I never like write something serious. I can see a new kernel emerging now. It's too much. We are stuck with the same kernel until the end of time. You think? The peanut gallery is a group of people whose opinion are not needed or required, but who make their thought known anyways. Oh, okay, so that's an expression. The peanut gallery is often compared to hecklers.
I am not the best person to judge if Rust should or shouldn't be included in the Linux kernel or any other project, or if it's a good or bad language. All I can say is probably projects that do allow you to contribute in newer, modern languages that you want to use are going to receive more contributions than projects that force you to use a language you don't like or you don't want. And the argument of, if you want a Rust-based kernel, just write a brand new kernel, come on, like no one is gonna rewrite Linux just using Rust, and no one is forcing anyone to use Rust. I can't judge if Rust should be in the Linux kernel or not, but Linus Torvalds can, and he said it should be in, and he's encouraging the project, so who am I to say it's not a good idea?
So wait. Wait, bro. So, man, I like Nico because he's saying everything. Listen, dude. He's saying everything and he's contrary in like what, like 35 seconds. So he said he was not a developer, and then he said if some people want to use Rust, they will use Rust, but using Rust and retranslating all the kernel in Rust doesn't seem right. But Linus said that Rust should be integrated within the kernel, so why am I to judge? This is literally what he said, dude. So I'm like, so Linus is for it. Rust is already in the kernel, but the guy gave up still. There is a difference between rewriting the old kernel in Rust and using Rust of piece of kernel. Yes, of course. Yeah, of course. I agree with that, Cupelix. This is what I understood, right? Like, I'm with him. But so, what they are trying to say here, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe this gentleman wanted to rewrite all of it in Rust? And that's why he got pushed out? It's not clear to me. You know what I mean? It's not clear. Like the way he acts is really interesting. Because his quote here, I find myself lacking the energy and enthusiasm I once had to respond to some of the non-technical nonsense. Nah. It's drama, chat. I don't want to get into that. But you see, like, we will never know exactly what happened. Right? Because it seemed like everything is contradictory. We have one guy who want to do Rust and say he can't do Rust anymore. And on the other side, you have the main maintainer, which is saying, like, we accept all the Rust dev. So what's the issue there? There have been a few developers like that over the years who have taken their toys and gone home when they didn't get their way. I think basically what it boils down is that this guy was submitting updates and PCs using Rust and they weren't getting approved because no one wanted to review it in Rust. Oh, I could be one of them. That could be one of them. By non-technical nonsense, they mean politics and bickering. But you see, this is where it's not aligned, because if it was really politics and bickering, if the big leader of the kernel is saying we accept Rust, I don't see why they wouldn't accept it. You know what I mean? If it was just political, or maybe it's deeper than that. But yeah, this is not my area of this is not my area. Let's be clear. This is not my area of expertise, chat. But what I can tell is that we will try to avoid drama as much as we can on this channel. I think here it's really related to drama. There is some things that didn't go through. I think we passed the professional environment. There is something else. So you might call it politics because it's related to work, but I will call it drama. There is another layer.
Yeah. Now, still on that Linux drama, there's some problems around the new Bcache FS file system that's been merged recently in the Linux kernel as an experimental option.
What
The
happened?
developer behind that file system seems to be pushing massive patches to that file system even during a new kernel version release cycle. And this is apparently pissing off Linus Torvald to the point where he regrets merging Bcache FS in the first place, saying that no one sane uses it currently because it's experimental, and that every patch submitted to that file system always happens during the release cycle instead of before that cycle. And he also says that these patches are now starting to affect non-Bcache FS.
Bro, this is getting beyond ridiculous. You know, guys, I think those exchange towards the kernel, they could be fun to read. Because I do believe that Linus is the type of guy who's straight to the point. And I like those type of guys, you know, like cut the BS and stop, right? But it's another level. Like you can see, it's a little bit vicious, right? If Bcache FS can't work sanely within the normal upstream kernel release schedule, maybe it shouldn't be in the normal upstream kernel. Dude, it seems violent, huh, Linus? Maybe they have pent-up feelings for each other and they want to kiss each other's bad. You know, love is really not far away from hate, and vice versa, you know. The Ars Technica article reference to a video from a conference where a guy's response talking about Rust is, here is the thing, you are not going to force all of us to learn Rust. Bro, you know what? I think some of those comments and exchange, they would be fun to actually watch. Me, it makes me laugh a lot. You know this type of exchange? There is a lot of people who can't be to the point without being rude at the same time. Yeah, I agree with that, man. You can see, like, when I say aggressive, you say rude. But yes. Like, you can tell there is a bit of, like, archness in it, you know? Instead of saying, like, it's like pushing it to another level, you know what I mean? Linus used to be far more outspoken, now he's way more diplomatic than he used to be. Go back and read comics from the kernel from 4.0. Might have to spend some time there just to have fun. Another channel, Brody Robertson talk about this too. Linux go about as close as to blow up as you're likely to see on a public forum. Did you see Doom running on a full neural rendering without any game engine? Yeah, I've seen it. It's pretty impressive, huh, dude?
Stuff as well. Basically, Torvalds is now considering whether Bcachefs should even be in the upstream kernel for now, because if it requires these kinds of giant patches, it's probably not
gonna get
ready
out,
to
chat.
be upstream. And the developer behind this file system didn't take kindly to that, basically saying that he's making the best file system ever, so his work should be merged. Stuff like, this is the file system we're all going to want to run in just a year or two, or we need this. And Torvalds answered this hubris by saying that they have rules for a stable development environment for a reason, and that these massive patches are disrupting the stability of the kernel itself because they're going to introduce new bugs for Bcachefs, but also potentially for other stuff. And if you don't understand why pushing these 1,000 lines...
This is awesome. Like, it makes me laugh a lot, chat. Because on one hand, you have one guy who is like really aggressive toward like, hey, you shouldn't push that if it's not ready. And you have the other guy who is like, yeah, well, it's not ready, but you're gonna want this in 2 years from now, so I have to push the patch. It's like, bro, this is fun. Makes me remember of my old day of work, you know? Before I was doing this content creation stuff. It makes me laugh, but at the time it was not. I was not laughing at all. But you get the idea. No one used to use an alpha or beta feature in its official release. It should remain in the dev stages. No, I agree with that. This thing is going to get out of the kernel.
Development cycle of the kernel is because during this development cycle, you should only submit bug fixes, not giant patches that also contain new features.
Makes sense.
New features should be submitted when there's a new kernel version being started. And then you say, okay, this is what we're starting with, and I'll fix the issues with that new code during that cycle. You shouldn't push mid-cycle a giant patch that adds new stuff. And that's what the person is doing, and he's answering the criticisms around this with a lot of hubris and a lot of ego. You're making a file system. Your experimental file system is not more important than the stability of the entire Linux kernel. So take a step back and submit your patches for the next cycle. Thank you.
Man, I didn't think we're gonna have so much fun, chat. Like, what is going on? Nico is upset those days? I'm telling you, he's gonna destroy my video. Bro, like, we all agree. Listen, we all agree with Linus on this one. Okay, I think even if you word it, I wouldn't have worded this way. I'm laughing about it because I think it's still bad. But dude, like, even Nico is like, hey, you're just developing a file system, okay, buddy? So step the F down, like step the F down, and do something else. Like, why is he saying that? If you read between the lines, you can tell how furious Linus, the creator and final arbiter of the Linux kernel, is, and you're gonna just go against him. No, but if there are rules, you need to follow them. Right? Like, if there is a rule, you need to follow them in the development, right? So, as simple as that. Like, this discussion is closed. There is no need to be vicious. It's like, what is the rules? Rule is that it's not ready, you are out. Voilà, goodbye. This is a professional engagement. And if you want to argue, say, did you follow the rule? No? Well, you get out. Voilà, that's all. End of discussion. Like, move on. Like, I don't understand. Like when it starts to get at this level, you know, like, professionalism is out. But what makes me laugh here is like Nico. Nick is kind of like taking part of it. He's like, come on, just step down. Like go play with your toys somewhere else. Yeah, it's pretty fun, dude. Maybe I should do that more in my video. Maybe I should do that more.
Now, the Sovereign Tech Fund, the organization that donated a nice, clean 1 million euros to GNOME a while back.
Wow, 1 million euros given to GNOME before, and now they are pushing 600,000 euro into FreeBSD.
Now also donated 686,000 euros to FreeBSD. As a reminder, the STF is a funding organism supported by the German Ministry of Economy and Climate Action. And
This is awesome,
they're starting
chat.
to build a reputation as good friends of free software. Their grants do come with strings attached. You need to offer a specific project to get one of these grants, and the money you receive can only be invested in that specific project. And for FreeBSD, that work will have to go towards infrastructure and security, notably reducing the project's technical debt, improving the tools and processes they use, adding more security frameworks to make sure that FreeBSD can be compliant with various.
So you see, here I have a question for you guys, and maybe you're gonna be able to answer it, or maybe you won't. But like, how big is FreeBSD compared to Linux? Because if I remember correctly, FreeBSD is really related to everything networks, and that's all, right? But like, how big it is? Like, why? Like, why would they push it that much? Like, what would be the interest of the German government to push into it? 0%? No, it's more than that. Like, if I don't know, maybe I'm saying something wrong, but like, FreeBSD share server. Yeah, desktop market share, but it's not. Listen, dude, it's not an operating system for desktop. Okay, it's server, dude. And it's more like related to like network. Like they are really good at everything related to network. What is the market share of FreeBSD server? Oh my gosh, 0.35% of the market share. Wow. FreeBSD is everywhere. In fact, there is a good chance you are using at least some code derived from BSD in your everyday life. If you stream movies via Netflix, chat, or WhatsApp, or play, you're already using FreeBSD. So I guess because it's open source, everybody is benefiting from it. But yeah, you see, it's going to be all network, chat. BST router project, Darwin, FreeNAS, PFSense, OpenSense, you see? But it's not that big, chat. I agree. Okay.
Regulators, automating the continuous integration and continuous deployment processes, and generally just making FreeBSD more robust and secure. The work has already started, and it should continue throughout 2025 and maybe a bit beyond that. And I will never.
Hello, Lefty, CGC. It's not GPL, so the licensing is more liberal, so it has many good uses. Makes sense. Does FreeBSD still use? I don't know.
Never complain about those public organisms using public taxpayer money to fund projects that are public and that anyone can use, modify, and redistribute. Public funds should be used to fund open source projects that anyone can use. They should not go to giant companies that ship proprietary software. So well done, Germany, and I hope more countries follow suit.
So that I agree
we have
with.
More news about
Like
KDE.
that I already agree with, chat. Like I think what Germany is doing is actually awesome, chat. It's actually awesome.
This week. This time something they plan to add in Plasma 6.2 that will likely annoy some people. In short, it's a notification that will appear once a year at most to ask you if you would like to donate to the KDE project. It is a system notification, it uses the same style of notification as everything else, it is not intrusive, it doesn't block your work, And no matter what you click on, whether it's the close button, the donate button, or the no thanks button, it will go away for a full year. You can also disable it completely, and distros can decide not to ship with that notification.
So guys, I read on my Discord, people were arguing about that. Like, people, they were like, I don't want to hear about donation. Listen, chat. I'm going to tell you something. Okay, I'm going to tell you something straight. If you don't donate, those things are not going to work. Because it's not going to happen, chat. It's simply not going to happen. It's the same for the YouTube channel you watch. It's the same for every type of content creation nowadays, okay? It's just not going to work. If you watch someone you like somewhere and you really appreciate the content, you don't need to give him your whole wage. This is not the point, right? But if you can give regularly, it's a big plus, dude. It's a big plus. And it's not like by you giving like $5 a month, is gonna go out and stop working and buy a Lamborghini and live on and buy an island. Like, it's not going to happen, right, chat? But it's gonna help the creator of whatever work you appreciate to continue what they do, okay? And what I noticed as a content creator is like, if you don't ask, nobody give it to you. Simple as that. Like, nobody is going to give you some type of help if you don't ask for it. So, is it annoying to have a pop-up once a year on your desktop? Maybe. But I also think it's a great reminder that if you're enjoying their work and using it every day, maybe you should give from time to time. Like, you know what I mean? I had this argument on Discord. I think it was 1 or 2 years ago, dude. And like, the argument was rough, chat. Like, because I was really upset. It's something that's really like trigger me. It's not cash. I'm not triggered by cash or discussing about cash. I'm really happy to talk about money in general. I know some people, when they hear the word cash or money or wage, they're just like, I don't want to talk about it. It's like, right? Why? I don't get it, but why not? Okay. But I was doing this analogy, which was maybe bad. I don't know, but I'm gonna start this discussion now. I think it's a good time to talk about it. Like, if you see a guy in the street, those music guy who play like trumpet or whatever in the street, right? And the guy is here every day playing new song on the street, and you go there, you listen to it, sometimes you stop, you watch the guy, you listen to the music, and maybe give you, those 10 seconds of like, during those 10 seconds, you are not here, right? You are in the music. And if every day you go and you have this enjoyment, like why are you not giving to this guy? Like, it's a serious question. Like, why are you not giving to this guy? Like, the guy is literally homeless there singing something. Like why? You know what I mean? And I think so. Maybe I'm generous, or I don't know, but I had this discussion with like a group of other person on Discord, and their argument were like, well, if he doesn't want to do that, he can go find a job like everybody else and play music for himself. And I'm like, this is not the point, dude. Like, if the guy is playing music there, like, maybe he couldn't have other opportunity. We don't know the story, right? The truth of the matter is that you enjoy this content somehow, and you didn't support it. So the real question is more like an inside question. It's like, why are you not giving it to him? This, I have a hard time understanding it. I donated to Christitus as well. His work on Windows utility and now Linux utility is amazing, and it's all free to use. Yeah. I get it, Fezzy. I get it. also get it why. You know, if something happened like that and you don't have the money to do it, I would get it. I would say, yeah, no worries. Like, I'm not forcing anyone to, you know, support it. But, bro, if you use KDE every day, like every day, at a certain point, it will be wise to give something to them. That's all I have to say. Even if you don't have money, do what you can, smile, say thank you, make their day better. Yeah, I agree. A smile doesn't buy them a sandwich, but it's a good start. But you get my point, right? So it's, man, I think this is the dilemma where a lot of content creators are in right now, right? Because from the viewer, like from the external standpoint, you're like, watch, KDEs they are rolling, they are making so much work and stuff, they are successful and whatever, but maybe on their end they are struggling, right? And there is this disconnection. But the thing is, like, you are using their work every day. So maybe, you know, you know what I mean? So obviously you don't want to put yourself in the red to help them. Like, you know, that's not what I'm saying. But that's all. That's just my 2 cents, chat. You know, I know, like, a lot. You know, it just. Yeah. My 2 cents, chat.
And this decision comes
so
from
I'm totally agree with the fact that
KDE needs more.
I'm totally agree with the fact they push notifications there. It's once a year. You know, everything free does not exist, chat. Nobody works for free in this world. And if they arrive at a point where working doesn't mean anything for them, you won't benefit. You won't benefit from their non-work. It's done. You know what I mean? Nobody works for free in this world. Doesn't work this way. Hey, hello Xero. Since I'm making money from their DE, it will be unethical for me not to include this notification. Yeah. Like. Darn, I finished my coffee.
Donations to keep going, for hosting everything that they have on the web, their dev infrastructure and websites, for organizing the in-person events that are crucial to organize future developments and big projects, but also for funding development sprints, paying developers, and paying people that do the work that volunteers don't want to do. As KDE says, the worst case scenario for that notification is that no one donates through it and they will just remove it after 1 or 2 years. And they also published answers to most questions that are sure to come their way, as in, why is it a notification or a pop-up? It's annoying, to which they say it really isn't, it's once a year and easy to dismiss, or stuff along the lines of KDE should be funded by distros and vendors, not individuals, which, yes, that's true, and they are a little bit, mostly by Valve through Blue Systems, the company that...
But bro, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't agree with us. Bro, I don't understand why people are always deflecting. Like, listen, dude, it drives me insane. Like, this really trigger me, chat. It's trigger me. Like, do you go in a store and grab some bread and eat it for free? And be like, oh yeah, but you should... Like, the store should pay for it, I'm hungry. Like, what is this? Like, what is this, dude? Like, this is exactly the actual, like, way of thinking there. It's like, oh yeah, but, you know, they are benefiting from other corporations, so those corporations, they should pay for it. Like, bro, you are using it. If you are using it, you use it, yeah, you're entitled to it. In Dutch, we say, Ni heb je al yakun je kriegen. You already have no. If you ask, maybe you can get yes. Yes, that's right. Yeah, after the way they do it, maybe the pop-up. But this is the thing, like users, they don't care. Dude. They don't care. Listen, like, this is the world we are living in. People think everything is free. Nothing is free, brother. Like, nothing is free. If you believe something is free, you don't understand how the whole system works. You don't understand. Nothing is free, chat. Nothing is free. And it's fair. Nothing is free. If you think something is free, you didn't get it. Someone worked for it. And if the work of this person, this corporation, this entity is not paid, the entity, person, or whatever is going to stop working. Like, end of discussion. It's simple as that, bro. Nothing free exists. It does not exist. And this is kind of a reminder.
On KDE, but that doesn't mean relying on a single source of revenue or on just institutional funding is healthy. If only because then you are beholden to the companies who are paying you and they might force you to go into a certain direction. What is sure is there are going to be a small fringe of people who see any asking for donation, any monetary transaction in the open source as undesirable. These are the people who are calling Zorin OS a scam because they have an Ultimate Edition that is paid to support the project, or who are calling Elementary OS begware because they ask you to donate what you want, including $0 if you want to download Elementary OS. Obviously, these are a niche, and for most people, a once-a-year notification will just not be a problem.
Okay, so you see, here's the argument with Zorin OS. I don't agree. Because you see, the argument of Zorin OS is different. Me, I'm okay if you ask for donation because you want to support the work. But Zorin OS, the way they present it is like, if you donate, you are having a better experience or whatever, rather than just say, please donate. You see the difference? I think the marketing approach of Zorin OS is misleading, but it's just my feeling about it. Elementary OS, I don't know what they do, but like, if you just ask for donation to help the project, like, this is fair, this is normal, right? The difficulty comes with smaller projects who can't ask for donation as effectively as larger one, yet the larger one might intrinsically rely on this smaller project. That's a really good point. I agree. That's a really good point, dude. Hello, ora. So this is a good point. Because then we have an issue where, like, the project who has the most, like, visibility will kind of grab all the donation and not share with, like, the smaller project that is literally like the bare bone of the biggest one. I agree with that. That's an issue. I totally agree with that. Zorin is selling a bunch of pre-configured things while KDE makes the D. Yeah. Listen, I believe everybody can ask for money, right? If the only difference is, like, if you don't bring value, nobody is going to give you money. Right? This is the idea. Nobody is going to bring value if you give money if you don't bring value. But this is the trick, dude. This is the trick. If you because the seller in between comma in the open source world already gave the project for free, everybody is still using it but not paying. This is what I have, kind of like a problem. I've donated more money than I would ever spend on software due to the fact they don't beg, and I really enjoy the software. Not sure I've missed the point or not. Yeah, so listen, bro. Like, if you already gave money to some type of project or some type of, like, content creation or whatever, good for you, right? Because you are, in my opinion, like, the smallest part, which are, like, actually enjoying the content or the software or whatever, and then giving money. Because you are like, okay, I enjoy it, I pay, it's fair. right? But I'm telling you, like most of the viewers, they think it's free. They just think it's free. Nothing is free. And the fact they have to beg kind of shows the issue, right? Because it shows that you have a huge amount of population which is like actually enjoying whatever they are doing, but they are not paying, because if they were paying, they wouldn't have to beg. You understand the circle? And this is weird, like circle where, you know, it's really rough, especially for like big project like that. Bon, I think like hopefully they're gonna make it, but all the smallest project, it's rough. This is off topic, but the trailer for the Minecraft movie just came out. I don't have enough emoji to express my feeling on it. This is that bad? Okay, let's continue. We'll see. I don't think I can stream the trailer, unfortunately. Like, I'm gonna get a copyright strike for sure.
I think it's not enough. Personally, I would add a sober, simple donation box in the homepage of the settings that you can remove if you never want to see again. But I think that would be a better place. Look at Thunderbird or Wikipedia. When they ask for donations, they have a permanent thing that disappears when you use the app or the...
But it doesn't work. Bro, this is the thing. It does not work. Like, if you are not aggressive by asking for money, it just doesn't work, dude. Like, that's why Wikipedia... If I go on Wikipedia right now... Look. If I go on Wikipedia right now... Like, the thing is still there. Okay, today is not there, obviously. But like, you will get... You will get this thing at the top, which was saying at the time, if you want the project to survive, please give money. Like, nobody give money. I understand why they push it, dude.
The website, but that is always visible, and I think Eddie should do that as well. A once per year notification is not going to be enough to generate any revenue, I think.
My Capital One team,
yeah, it's not going to be enough.
Redeem your credit card rewards.
Like, this is rough, dude. This is really rough. You still have Twitch, right? Looking for somewhere to use my Prime sub, lol. So Twitch is on, but I don't have contract with them. So, yeah. Maybe I'm gonna have to, you know, reactivate it and just mention that only use your Prime sub there. The issue I have with Twitch is like they are taking 50% of the money you gave me. Outside of the Prime sub, obviously. Prime sub, they just give me like, I don't know, like $2, something like that, or $1.50. So yeah. And they did it at a level where they shouldn't have done it. Like, all the people I was streaming with, they had different cuts. They had like 70%. Some of them had more. But me, even if I was on the top 10,000, they still give me at 50%. Those mother trucker, dude. So I'm like, I'm done. So I'm still there live, but yeah. I like to see the big project like Eddie or Gnome have a page donation button for a bunch of projects that might change each month. That would be good. You know, maybe people are willing to give a little bit, but you will be surprised, dude. You will be surprised. And when you come to donation, everybody has an excuse. Which is fair, right? But that's why, you know, when I was talking about this argument with a guy singing in the street or playing an instrument, it's rough. It's just rough sometimes. But just my 2 cents. Maybe I'm too generous. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so let's go with this one.
Know about EmuDeck, the emulation tool with a handheld interface that works particularly well on the Steam Deck. Well, it looks like they're starting to make hardware now with what they call the EmuDeck machine.
The EmuDeck machine, chat. The very first hardware product. Wow.
It is a crowdfunding project, so...
Bro, it looks like the Dreamcast. Have you ever played the Dreamcast, chat? Dreamcast.
All usual warnings about this apply, but it will run Bazzite as its system, the immutable Linux distro based on Fedora. And the goal is to provide something that is completely plug and play, no drivers, no hassle. It looks exactly like a Dreamcast, without the logos, of course, and the goal isn't just to do emulation with it, because they'll have two models. The EM1 is...
Two model. EM1 and EM2. Sometimes I subscribe to Patreon for my favorite project, like $1.99 or something. I know it's nothing, but it's more than people will do it. Yeah. Dude, it's not about the amount. Like, this is the thing. Like, the game for KDE, for all those big software companies, and even for me, it's just like, if every viewer give like even $1 a month, dude. Like, I would live and pay the diaper, no worries, chat. You know what I mean? Like, this is simple as that. Now, if you see on your hands, like I was watching a video this morning about this guy who was talking about the subject, and he was like, whoa, why would I give €5 to this dude? And in my head, I'm like, dude, like, you're making content about a guy who is asking €5 for a project he spent maybe 2 years on. Your video is going to generate more than €5. Don't you think you should get the €5 at least once? Like, bro, like, please. But nope. And this guy head was like, nope. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Like, I'm getting triggered, chat. I'm gonna stop. Air Max. So Air Max merch when? How about Air Max branded diapers? So, dude, I had my merch. I had a lot of merch, but the cost of running my merch versus how much money I was making was just not worth it. It was just not worth. Because when you... So I'm going to be super transparent, right? When you start to get into this business, and I sold a lot of t-shirt and sweatshirt, right? You need to scale up so high for you to for it being actually worthing your time. It's insane, dude. Like, it's just crazy. And if you don't do it yourself, if you had a third party to do it, like most of it, you will notice that the margins are so small, it's not even worth for you. It's not worth the headache. Because you give money to everybody else except you, and you are barely like making cash out of it. So like what like financially what could work is like, you know, but anyways, like it's not worth it. Like my wife, she was becoming crazy when I was doing the merch, because you have to think it this way. So I was streaming all day. Then I was doing not even like 1 or 2 YouTube videos a week in my free time. In the rest of my free time, I was like working on the order of my actual like merch business, which was like stocking up, thinking about distribution, thinking about the website, thinking about promotion, thinking about trying to link the sale with my actual like content creation gig. It was insane, dude. Like, it was insane. The hard part is now many places you can afford to give that $1 a while ago. I realized how expensive my monthly Patreon bill will become as those $1 add up quick. Okay, but now how much money did you send to the Linux experiment? None yet. That's an insight. I buy a €70 polo shirt from my favorite distro. Bro, that's some expensive polo, broski. Bro, you convinced me. I donated a small amount to KG. Nice. And there are also tax, right? Yeah, there is tax, obviously. There is tax. So my policy toward content creator. I'm still like giving money to some of my fellow content creator on Twitch on a monthly basis. And what I do is that each time I reach another level in terms of like income and stuff, I give more. So I give to more people. But what I notice, because listen, this is a trick. I can't give with my level of income right now to everybody I would like to give. That's the thing. To be super transparent now, that's the type of position I'm in right now. But I know, like I know exactly to who I'm going to give or not to give. Correction, sorry, I think it was 35 euro, which is $75. Okay, yes. Yeah, so 35 euro is fair. It's fair. But you see, those guys, if they do good merch, if the quality of the product is good, and after paying tax and everything, they're gonna make like top, I would say like 15 euro net on that. To Gaming Friends or Linux Bro? Right now, it's still Linux. It's still Gaming Friend. But it's not Gaming Friend. It's gaming like channel I watched. Content I consume. Right? So that's how I work. Cause you see, when I started that in Twitch, I was like subscribed to so many people, dude. You have no idea. Like my budget was a month was stupid. Like was really, really stupid. I was buying merch. I was supporting as much as I could, like my fellow creators, the one I was enjoying, right? Because this is how it works, dude. Like you can't. You have to. Like that's how it is. If you watch the content and you enjoy it and you have been part of this business, like this is what it is. But let's say like now you start to spend like 200 euro a month. You know, if you make enough money, it's fair to put that because you want to support them. But if you don't make enough money to, you know, connect ends, you know, I respect the fact that you just can't do it. And I never said you should put yourself in the red to support. What I'm saying is that if you're not in the red and you can do it, why are you not doing it? You understand the approach?
Is just for emulating old titles. It has an underpowered N97 CPU, its integrated graphics, and 8 gigs of RAM. But they have the EM2 as well, which has a Ryzen 7 8600G. It has its integrated Radeon 760.
So, chat, this is actually good, huh?
And 16 gigs of RAM. And that second model is apparently able to play Cyberpunk at 60 FPS at 1080p low using FSR. So it's decently capable, more powerful than a Steam Deck. Both systems would come with an Xbox-like Game Sur Nova Lite controller.
Bro, this is so fun.
It will support other controllers, of course, because
this is so fun because
Linux, everything works.
Let's see. I think they use Bazzite, right?
If is successful, they would like to work on a docking station for the EM2 that would let you upgrade the graphics to a Radeon 7600 desktop GPU,
oh, wow,
which would give the console a lot more oomph. Now the prices are 299 euros for the EM1 and 760 euros for the EM2, including the early bird crowdfunding discounts.
Boo! That's so expensive, chat.
Which feels a bit steep in both cases. Now, at the time I wrote this, the campaign had already reached 14,000 euros out of the 63,000 that they wanted. I find it a bit expensive. I would not be interested at those prices, but if that's something...
Because, wait, let me check. At this price, why would you not buy a Steam Deck? Like, what would be the value added of that? You buy a Steam Deck, you connect it to your actual, like, gaming console, like TV, and you're good to go.
Crowdfunding discounts, which feels a bit steep see your money back. You don't know. And still on the topic of Linux consoles, the Steam Deck is apparently still flying off the shelves. Looking at the global top sellers list on Steam, the deck placed second after Black Myth Wukong, or at least its pre-orders, and before Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2's pre-orders. At least if you remove the free-to-play titles, which don't matter here because we're counting the revenue and free-to-play don't generate sales of the title itself. The list is ordered by revenue, so it doesn't mean that the deck sold more copies than Space Marine 2 sold pre-orders, but it does mean that it is still selling really well, because if you look...
So how people are still buying Call of Duty? So they are still buying Call of Duty because there were a mod which was announced, and this mod was like insane, dude. And to use the mod, you had to buy Call of Duty. But what happened is like the company, I think, who was making the mod got a cease and desist. So they had to stop doing it for copyright infringement or whatever. So people, they still bought the game, but I don't think they can play to the mod, at least like legally, as I understand it.
At Black Myth, it apparently already sold 14 million copies just on Steam. At 60 euros, this means 840 million euros in revenue. If we assume the deck made even half of that same revenue to land on the second spot of the top sellers list, we have a magnificent 420 million euros of sales. That's 1 million basic LCD decks sold, or 620,000 units of the most expensive 1TB OLED deck. Now, even if you assume that the deck generated a quarter of the revenue of Black Myth's pre-orders to land on the second spot, that's still 500,000 LCD decks sold over a short time period, which seems to indicate that the deck is still incredibly popular.
That's crazy, chat.
Very good for Linux gaming and for Linux in general, but it also indicates that we're probably far away from seeing a Steam Deck 2 or a completely revised version, because Valve definitely doesn't need to update that device to make it sell. So we're probably stuck with the current Steam Deck and Steam Deck OLED for a while, which is fine because those are...
I don't know how we arrive on this conversation.
Excellent devices, just like the
okay, so this is the sponsor. So, chat. This one is delivered with Buzzite. And I don't know if you remember my video like months ago when I explained like Buzzite would be the perfect operating system for like, you know, like a console, PC console salon. So I think I was not wrong on this one, chat. It's literally what they have done. They put Buzzite on this hardware, put a box around it, and nice feature like USB and whatever, and boom. Okay, I'm gonna play that just for him.
Anyway, thank you all for watching. You know where all the buttons are. Click them please, so the algorithm likes us and makes Linux more popular in general on YouTube, and makes me a bit more money so I can live more comfortably as well. And if you really want me to live more comfortably, there are links in the description as well to support the channel. You'll gain some nice new perks like a daily version of these videos. So, thanks for watching, and I guess you'll see me in the next one. Bye!
Nice. Okay, so again, I'm doing my part there, guys. That's good. That's good content. I like to disagree with him sometimes, but I have to say it's good content. So what about this gentleman? Oh yeah, I want you to watch that, chat. Maybe I'm not going to play games today. Maybe we are just going to do this. I actually like to do that with you, chat. Why more people don't use Linux? Read time 3 minutes. So what was the article? Let's check the article together. So why don't more people use Linux? A couple of weeks ago, I saw a tweet asking, if Linux is so good, why aren't more people using it? It's a fair question and intuitively rings true until you give it a moment consideration. Linux is even free, so what's stopping mass adoption if it's actually better? My response. If exercising is so healthy, why don't more people do it? This is not bad, chat. If reading is so educational, why don't more people do it? If junk food is so bad for you, why do so many people eat it? The world is full of free invitations to self-improvement that are ignored by most people most of the time. Putting it crudely, it's easier to be fat and ignorant in a world of cheap, empty calories than it is to be fit and informed. It's hard to resist the temptation of minimal effort. Okay, not bad. I like the style of this gentleman. David Enheimeyer Hanson. Man, it's a little bit more complicated than that, right? But I like the analogy, chat. What do you think? Okay, Radical is laughing in the chat. And Linux isn't minimal effort. It's an operating system that demands more of you than does the commercial offering from Microsoft and Apple. Thus, it serves as a dojo for understanding computers better, with a sensei who keeps demanding you figure out problem on your own in order to learn and level up. That's not bad, chat, huh? It's well written. Now, I totally understand why most computer users are interested in an intellectual workout when all they want to do is browse the web or use an app. They are not looking to become a black belt in computing fundamentals. That's true. But programmers are different, or have to be different. They are like firefighter. Fitness isn't the purpose of firefighting, but a prerequisite. You are a better firefighter when you have the stamina and strength to carry people out of a burning building on your shoulder than if you do not. So most firefighters work to be fit in order to serve that mission. Dude, this is not bad. That's why I would love to see more developers take another look at Linux, such that they may develop better proficiency in the basic kata of the internet, such that they aren't scared to connect a computer to the internet without the cover of a cloud. Oh, this is good, chat. This is really good. Such that they aren't scared to connect a computer to the internet without the cover of a cloud. Besides, if you are able to figure out how to set up a modern build pipeline for JavaScript or even correctly configure IAM for AWS, you already have all the stamina you need for the Linux journey. Think about giving it another try, not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. This is good. This is really good. That's a really good post, chat. I never heard about David, but I have to say it's a really good post. What would you add to that when it comes to gaming on Linux? I think from my perspective, there is some type of limitation toward Linux who could be a block. It's like it's adding a new level of complexity here. So if exercising is so healthy, why don't more people will do it? It will be more like why more people, like maybe with health issue or something like that, will do it, right? Because the truth is like there is something within Linux that will block them to become healthy. You know what I mean? Some people want to get home from work and just playing game, but it's exactly the same thing here, right? Like if you use Linux, even like using a browser can become sometimes problematic. Depending on the version of Linux you use, like you have to be fair, right? And that's why like he's making this article. But what I'm saying is like from browsing and using an app to gaming, there is another layer of complexity, right? That's a good one. So you want to watch this video? Or you want me to game a little bit? It's 20 minutes. I'm curious to see what this gentleman think about it. A true 6-time developer. 3-minute read, 18-minute video. Bon, I sent my grandmother with Debian to replace her old Mac and she never had a problem. She was in her 90s. She had blown away how you could get a system that cost $300 run better than an old iMac. She was in her 90s. Dude, I hope in my 90s I will be able to see how fast it goes, right? The process is half the fun. True. Okay, let's see what this guy is saying.
Look at this. Why don't more people use Linux? How much do you want to bet this is going to be the greatest article of all time? Because you know what? It's going to turn into a Jing Yang roast of Erlich Bachman. You are fat and poor.
What? What? What is this, dude? Okay.
So ready. A couple weeks ago, I saw a tweet asking if Linux is so good, why aren't more people using it? Yeah, seen getting dunked on. And dude, even got Elon Musk to be like, well, actually, I mean, that's such a good tweet to get your boss to respond to it. Okay.
The vast majority of internet server use Linux, right? More people should get into that user space. Steam Deck run on Arch Linux. It actually works well.
Okay, his boss just responded to him, be like, yo, dog, a lot of people use it. Anyways, and it's a fair question. It's intuitively rings true until you give it a moment's consideration. Linux is even free, so what's stopping mass adoption if it's actually better? Before I read his response, one thing that I did, one of my kind of like heart changes that I had with development in 2015, it's really the reason why I'm streaming as part of this heart change. One of the heart changes is that I deploy and run things on Linux, yet I use a Mac. I want to use the thing I deploy on. I want to get familiar with it to the point where I can reasonably go on and attempt to figure out what's happening.
So that's fair, right? That's fair. Like if you are working on Linux on your daily basis, why are you not using it as a primary, like I would say like desktop, just to learn a little bit deeper into it? This is fair. I think it's more like a curiosity aspect more than a necessity, but it's fair. I like this approach.
And so I just started learning it. I mean, that was my personal motivation. It wasn't like, oh, free and open source software. Oh, it wasn't like all the other things people do. It was because I just wanted to simply use the thing that I use all the time in production. You felt the same? Yeah.
Okay, so this is fair, dude. Like guys, why did you switch to Linux? That's a really good question. Like, why are you using Linux? I'm gonna answer this question after you answer it, chat. Like, why? I'm curious, dude. For the one who are using Linux, I know some of you guys are not even using Linux right now. I don't. Right now I'm using Windows too, but like, why are you using Linux? That's a fair question. That's a fair question, chat. Oh, chat, are we all dead? Or the actual, like, chatbot is dead again? What's happening? because you like the challenge. So you did it for the beauty of the move. That's why you did it. I had many problems with gaming in Windows, particularly after getting an AMD GPU. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. I didn't think about this one. I use Linux to learn for sure. I also donated to Microsoft to play games. I wanted to optimize my system as much as possible and very annoyed by Windows 2. I really didn't like Windows and its non-transparency. It's fun. Like, dude, it's really fun how we all have different, like perspective. I play a lot of single-player game and I heard a lot of them played better on Linux, and 1 year later, I'm on Game 2. Nice. No more ads and poor upgrade quality on Microsoft Windows. Yes. I started like many after I bought a Steam Deck. Oh, so Steam Deck pushed you there. I went there because it's free. Okay. Yeah, but sometimes free doesn't mean better. But okay. So what I read there is like some of you got pushed. Dude, some of you got pushed to something else by Microsoft itself, right? Because you are like, I can't stand Windows anymore. I'm part of this. Like you can see, like some of you guys are just like, I'm out. Some of you are just there for the adventure, dude. I wanted to go there for the fun, dude, because it's like a challenge and curiosity and stuff like that. But it's funny to see, like, most of you have been pushed away. I just got used to play on Windows that I didn't even think about switching to Linux until a month ago. So why did you switch? That was my question. I wanted to escape Microsoft privacy rabbit hole, but I like to keep a Windows partition for a kernel anti-cheat with friends. Yeah, makes sense. My laptop does not support Windows 11, so you had to leave again. And the Steam Deck was the reason. Oh, I see a lot of you guys are on a Steam Deck. So this gentleman is Prime Agent. And this guy is very advanced with NVIM, NeoVim user with a credit split keyboard. Nice. Hey, what's up, Chris? I always hear that people switch to Linux because they don't like Windows anymore, but less people say that they did it because they like Linux. Personally, I switched to Linux because Elden Ring was running better on DLC map. Okay. I mean, I don't want to waste 140 USD in Windows. I have a Steam Deck too. That's part of the reason. Interesting, chat. Yeah, Elden Ring like run better on most of the machine. Do we have a crack yet? What are we talking about, dude? Linux is free. You don't need a crack. Okay, so me, I got pushed. So it's funny because none of you mentioned the ethical open source aspect. Some of you mentioned the privacy, but it's not the main reason. The main reason is like, I can't get out. Like I had to get out from like Windows, like world, and jump into Linux. Like you were kind of like pushed out there. It's really interesting, guys. Broski, we don't do a crack game on this channel. Like you're on the Rogue channel, Nike G, whatever. We don't do crack here. I just love tech and twinkering, and I'm the guy who uses custom ROM and Android, and so after I got my own PC, I started to get into Linux. So curiosity. So we have majority is leaving because of Windows, And the second part of like the Linux user are for curiosity. So curiosity will be like exactly like this gentleman here, right? Like I'm developing on Linux. I'm curious to see how it's gonna run on my desktop. It's interesting, dude. Me, I'm part of the first row. I'm like, Windows, honestly, was not a problem until it start to push weird stuff on my screen, until it start to have like weird updates that literally trigger me. And because I've seen, you know, what Valve was doing, I was like, okay, this is the future because a lot of people are going to be in my position. They're going to be like, I'm out. I can't stand this experience, right? Office with DevTools, no hard products, we can see here. Also, such a great feeling. Build your own PC and install your do-it-yourself distro. Yes. I got into this stuff from flashing my old Samsung Galaxy phone with Cyanum Engine, which gets me into the newer stuff. Then, on PC, I dove into Linux Mint, Ubuntu, Pop, Endeavour, and Kashii. So, curiosity too, huh? Okay, Temet, no worries. Obviously, it helps that Linux is free, so it was costless to make this change. Yeah, like this help. Okay, so let's continue. Like, see, like, what is gonna think about this.
And so it's like I'm not a fantastic Linux user. I've never been a fantastic Linux user. I use it because I want to use it. 777 enjoyers? Yeah. In fact, I believe I asked a question about 777 on Stack Overflow at one point. Anyways, let's see this one. If exercising is so healthy,
guys, you know what is 777? Chat, do we know? I'm sure you know, chat.
why don't more people do it? If reading is so educational, why don't more people do it? If junk food is so bad for you, why do so many people eat it? It's a fair question. You do 2 out of 3 of those things?
Never. Neovim beans? No. That's the file property. I don't know the right term. But like that's the right, like the file, like property on, that's the option on the file when you do a chmod. When you go 7077, it's like it's executable, writable by everyone on the PC. Yeah, QPLX, he knows. chmod, boys. Yeah. For me, it was my machine that was too old for Windows 11, so I decided to try Linux.
Thanks. Due to yes, it's the reading part, huh? Yeah, I can't really read either. It's not a fair question. And what I mean by a fair question is that things that are good for you are extremely difficult to do. If you deploy in production, why aren't you adept with the system you use? I think that's a fair question. If you use it for every other person to play with it, but you yourself don't use it, is there a conflict of interest? But to also be fair,
I wouldn't go that far.
This
but
has an underlying kind of like implied axiom, which is that Linux is good for you. Linux should be the thing you deploy.
So this,
personally, I think that's true.
This is debatable. Is Linux good for you, dude? That's actually a good debate. Is Linux good for you? So I'm guessing that depending on your work, it could be good for you, actually. It could be good for you, chat. I was pushed away after one more Windows 98 reinstallation. I just downloaded the web browser and Mirk. Mirk? Bro, you're really old school. You installed a firewall antivirus, right? Told him just download web browser and Mirk. He told me I was already infected. I installed antivirus and I was. So I said, okay, no more of this BS. It's easy, no one cares what the OS is. If more home users switch to Linux, they will never go back to Windows. I don't know about that, chat. I don't know about that. I think there is still limitation within Linux, right?
But some people actually deploy on Windows. So I'm just saying. It sounds a bit manipulative. Do you think it sounds manipulative? Well, it's making an underlying assumption that Linux is actually the thing that should be used. Therefore, if you're not using it, it's like, oh, well, it's the thing we run all of our servers on, but I don't do it. The world is full of free innovation invitations to self-improvement that are ignored by most people most of the time. Putting it crudely, it's easier to be fat and ignorant of the world of cheap, empty calories than it is to be fit and informed. It's hard to resist the temptation of minimal effort. I mean, that's obviously an objectively true statement. It is easier. It is 100% easier to all. I mean, we do this all the time to ourselves. The shortcut. I mean, every last person here has had the battle with the higher will and the lower will on doing the thing you should do versus the thing that you want to do. Everybody here who works out has even had the desire not to work out as hard, knowing fully that they're deciding not to work out as hard. It's not that they're failing, they're not doing as well, right?
Dude, if I put Linux in front of my 70-year-old mother, she will just die in front of me. No, don't say that, please. Listen, you will be surprised. I installed one of my old user. Let's word it this way: Linux Mint, and he's actually enjoying more than Windows, believe it or not. I think Linux starts to be really complicated when you want to do complicated things. That's like Linux will be. Like Linux to me will be the difference between a tricycle and a bicycle. Right? It's like if Windows will be the tricycle. You don't need to know how to bike to ride the tricycle. You sit, you do this with your little feet and you advance. But there is limitation, right? You can't remove those wheels, right? Those tricycle wheel, you're stuck. But it's easy and it goes and no problem, everything works. On the other hand, there is Linux, which is like a bicycle, right? And the bicycle, you need to actually learn how to bike. You have this step, right? And then when you know how to do that, the amount of effort you're going to put in it and whatever you want to go through is related to what you can do already with a bicycle. So maybe the analogy is not the best, but you get the idea, right? You get the idea. I put Linux for my 70-year-old parents, they just didn't notice. My father, one icon, Firefox. That's true. I respect that. Hyperland kids with their family want to use their PC and print something. Yeah, that's true too, dude. That's true. I switched my retired mother and father laptops to Linux. No more trip to fix them, anyone. That's true too. Just like depending if you install Debian or Mint, just make sure their big upgrade goes well. Because this is where, from time to time, you're going to have to your finger crossed. Because this can happen still. Like it happened on server, production server, you want to upgrade, everything breaks. It happens too. But yeah, normally like they should be like solid. So actually, I fibbed a little bit. I did put Linux in front of my 70-year-old mother because I bought her a Chromebook. Here we go, Cupidix. Welcome to the Linux gang. I know you are not part of the Linux crew there already, but now you are one of us, dude. Indirectly. People who only use Office and web browser can use Linux distro, but they won't until you show them. Yes and no. Like, if you work with people who are on Microsoft Office, for example, sometimes it's, it doesn't work really well. Moving from one, LibreOffice, for example, to Microsoft Office, there is still little caveat. But I do agree that for most of the people, like, who are not gamer, it wouldn't be a problem at all. But you see, like this approach, like he's mentioning here, like it's easier to be fat and ignorant in a world of cheap, empty calories than it is to be fit and informed.
I mean, this is an objectively true statement. in of itself. It's relating it to Linux that I think is a little difficult. I'm
Yeah.
having a hard time seeing the bridge to Linux.
Yeah,
Minimal
yeah.
effort equals faster.
So I agree with him. Like, it's like, this is true if you take it out of the context.
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't even equal faster. Sometimes it is slower. Doing the minimal effort can be slower because every single day you're getting interrupted for, say, like 30 seconds because you do the minimal thing as opposed to taking 2 hours to make it just work. And so then you pay that cost over and over again because it is faster in the short term, but it's not faster in the long term, right?
So even what he says there is discutable, right? It's literally case per case, right? Depending on what you do on your computer. But I agree, like the bridge between the argument itself and Linux and the analogy can go both ways.
Linux isn't minimal effort. Facts. It's an operating system that demands more of you than does the commercial offerings from Microsoft and Apple. Thus, it serves as a dojo for understanding computers better. You will walk away with better understanding of an operating system. I think we all agree that you can use Windows and virtually never know what a file is.
Oh, this is so true. Chad, this is so true. Bro, I've ever met, listen, I ever met students in like informatics, like computer technology, who had no idea how Windows was actually working. They had no idea. So they were learning the language and they were good at it, but they had no idea how, for example, like change a driver on Windows or trying to understand how it boots. Like they will know the language itself, but they will know nothing about the computer. I don't know if it makes sense, but I've seen that. Like, this is true. Like, this is actually true, chat. And some of you guys are going to be like, Air Max, you are wrong, but this is true, dude. Like, you will be amazed on how, like, there is a big gap between even like people who say they are engineer in computer, because it's not the same, obviously. Like, learning a language has nothing to do with computer when you really think about it. Like, it has to do, but like you could learn one without learning another. But I think like Linux in a way is really pushing you to learn there. Like it puts you in a position where you have to do it. So this I agree with.
I think that's pretty fair. With a sensei who keeps demanding you figure out problems on your own in order to learn and level up. Like, my kids don't even know what files really are. My oldest is starting to understand that there's files, but you meet like a lot of 15, 16, 17-year-olds that actually don't even know what a file or a directory is. Like that, those things don't even have words. Right?
But
like,
they
they're
don't
not
need
even
to,
real.
right?
It does teach you a lot. Everything is fine. I know you want that to be true. But in kids' head, there is no such thing as a file. Files don't even exist. Who's the audience for this article? People who know who DHH is? He's preaching to the choir.
I think if you take your kid as an example, like
blog. A blog is preaching to the choir. A blog is taking your thoughts and putting it out there for people to read. Now, I totally understand why most computer users aren't interested in intellectual workout when all they want to do is browse the web or use an app. Also fair. I would never, ever, for any reason, set my mom up to use Linux. It would be I would have a mental illness if I said, you know what, Mom, you need to use Linux because it is the best way to use the computer, right? Like, my mom just doesn't need that. I don't need that.
Oh, but this is okay. So this is interesting, chat. You see, his approach is funny because he's saying like she should use Linux because Linux is better. But he doesn't see the operating system as a commodity. How do you say this word, chat? Say, I'm tired, chat. Commodity. Commodity. A raw material or primary agricultural product that can be bought and sold. Yeah. So, he doesn't see it as a commodity, right? He sees it as a way of doing things, which is different. Right? For me, Linux is a commodity, not community, commodity. It's a commodity to give to someone else to, I would say, like, alleviate some of the complexity related to Windows. Okay, because whether you like it or not, if you have a really like basic usage of the computer, nowadays Linux is easier. It's just easier, chat. It's easier to run than Windows. There is less intrusive stuff which can distract an old user to do what he wants to do. You know what I mean? It's more basics. If you go into the... Man, I installed Microsoft 11. That's horrible, chat. Like, you go into Windows 11... Sorry, not Microsoft 11. Windows 11, you lose your mind. Like, you open the thing at the bottom, there is, like, pop-up, news, whatever. Like, it's not a computer anymore. It's something else. Like, here you go on Linux, it's straight. Browser, click, boot, upgrade when you want to upgrade, go back, no virus, nothing, it works. You know what I mean? So, you see, like, I would give it to my parents more as a commodity rather than telling them it's a way of using a computer. Like, I don't care if there is a way or not a way. I would say, like, use Linux because it's easier for everyone.
And so not everybody needs to use Linux. And that's completely fair. They're not looking to become a black belt in computing fundamentals, but programmers are different, or ought to be different. Ooh, there's an implied morality here. It's kind of an interesting thing, which is, and this is a very huge, I think, contention in our modern world right now, which is, what is better, to deliver an app as fast as possible or to write something well?
It's interesting to see his programmer approach, right? I guess this guy is a programmer. I don't know him. You mentioned, I think Temet mentioned like he was really good with NeoVim, so I'm guessing he's the programmer. Yeah, let's listen to his perspective.
Very hard to do them obviously at the same time. And I think a lot of us want to write it well, but we're often compelled by money or time to get it out quick. And you can see this with older houses. Houses built in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, though the layout often is like they were taking acid, the houses generally are built better because there was more concern of craft than speed during those years. They were probably taking acid. Yeah, it's true.
No, like it's more complicated than that, dude. Like if you take the analogy of the house, I do believe it's more complicated than that. Obviously, like the crafting was better at the time, but it was not because they wanted to make better. It was because the constraints were different, right? Like our world is changing. Like we are going like into the Walmartization of everything we do. So it's more cheaper. This is the direction we are going. At least this is my vision. So when you talk about a house now, they rather build like 10 cheap houses rather than good one because, you know, they make more money out of it by doing it this way and because this is what everybody is doing. If they want to make a well-crafted house, they wouldn't be able to sell it anymore. You know what I mean? Like there is no big value added into doing something well-crafted versus doing more of them. So when you think about, yeah, exactly, the old quality over quantity conundrum, exactly. Like right now, we are in a world where quantity is key. That's the world we are living in. Economies of scales, etc., etc. So, I don't see how we could apply it in a programmer world.
But also had houses in the 30s and 40s. Yeah, typically houses in the 30s and 40s a little bit more interesting because they're getting old enough that, you know, sometimes you need like foundational help and all that. You know, as houses get older, they can they need help. Our house is 113 years old and can withstand a nuclear blast. Yeah, but you probably have had a lot of things go into it. You probably also had tube electronics at one point.
He's right.
As Thor said, nobody cares if it has 10K in if statements as far as it gets the job done. Yes, the problem is we, the consumer, are concerned about results. We, the builder, are concerned about the quality. And so it gets into this really weird spot. Computers are by far the weirdest place. You truly don't care. I know people are saying I care. You truly don't care when it comes to the consumer side. You want Twitter to work. Does it matter that
Yeah,
it's Twitter?
he's right about
is
that. That's why there
shooting
is.
lasers.
I think that's why there is a gap between like the House analogy and Twitter and like all the program in general, right? Because the impact is going to be so different, and you wouldn't really care what is behind the scene compared to a House, right? But I get his point.
inside of
I
some
get his point.
crazy light-based programming language, or does it matter that it's written in PHP? You wouldn't care. You'd have no actual care at all how it's done, long as it was consistent and always worked. And so, as a consumer, we're just not caring, but as a producer, we definitely care, and that it becomes this really difficult. Fucking lasers, man, right? It becomes really difficult because we're on both sides. PHP is legit. No hate there. Yeah, I mean, I think I've already talked about my past with PHP. They're like firefighters. Fitness isn't the purpose of firefighting, but it's a prerequisite. You are a better firefighter when you have stamina and strength to carry people out of a burning building on your shoulders than if you do not. So most firefighters work to be fit in order to serve that mission. This is actually a pretty interesting analogy. I like it in the sense that to become a good programmer, the more you know of fundamentals, the ability to go further down the stack, the more you just simply understand, the faster you can move even in the simple things. And that takes time, effort, and difficulty.
And this is fair.
But it can yield better output. Yeah, I understand that most firefighters just take medical calls. That is because whenever there is something to say,
Dude, this argument of the guy. Firefighters, they are not even on the field. They just answer the phone. Bro. Broski. He's not wrong, but like... Dude. I think this is a good one, chat. Nobody said it in chat when I was reading it. Nobody said it in my chat. What's going on, dude? I think we are losing our peps there.
has a heart attack and the doors are locked, there's certain ways in which they need to be able to break things in and all that. I get that firefighters aren't responding to fires all the time. They actually do a lot of services. Car wrecks typically have firefighters because you have to be able to get people out of cars and all that. But nonetheless, they still have to be in shape. Just because we build CRUD apps responding to medical calls doesn't mean we don't also have complex things in which we're trying to build. That's why I love to see more developers take another look at Linux, such that they may develop better proficiency in the basic katas of the internet, such that they aren't scared to connect a computer to the internet without the cover of a cloud. Interesting. Besides, if you're able to figure out how to set up modern build pipeline for JavaScript, or even correctly configured IAM for AWS, you already have...
Wait. You don't say JavaScript, you say JavaScript. This is the correct way to say it in English? Bro, I'm learning so much. Chat, I'm learning so much.
JavaScript.
Oh no, it's a JavaScript.
JavaScript.
So why are you saying JavaScript? Man, if someone make another comment of the way I pronounce word, I'm gonna be upset.
All the stamina you need for the Linux journey. That is such a good take. If you can do a JavaScript build pipeline...
Oh, now he's saying
you can use
JavaScript.
Linux.
Okay.
Like, we're not talking about... I go like vite init and I create a new basic template. We're talking about a larger project in which has custom build points and all of that. We're not talking about the easy stuff, right? Think about giving it another try. Not because it's easy, because it's worth it. I would say this is the exact same thing when it comes to data structures, when it comes to algorithms, learning about how HTTP works, building your own custom, network protocol. Not because you should do that because it's somehow going to benefit you at your job, but you should do that because you will understand how the internet protocols work. When you build something in binary, you understand things at a more fundamental level. You understand how JSON actually even works. How do you send an object across a wire? Some people are completely mystified, probably even in this chat. Type 1 in this chat if you are mystified by the process of sending JSON across the wire. I bet you there's at least quite a few people that just don't know how, and they don't understand why. Would you like a brief lesson in how it works? Let's just say that you have...
No. We don't want that. Okay, so I think I don't want the lesson on TCP and whatever. Like,
with Chevy Equinox EV.
darn. I don't want the lesson, chat. I'm gonna give you the link. So you type why more people don't use Linux the prime time. Okay, chat. If you want to go support him, give him a thumbs up to the video. No ad block. No, I don't do ad block, chat. It's my way to help right now. You see, if listen to it. He has 30,000 views right now. If everybody is doing the same right now, watching the ad on 30,000 views, is like right now, he's making around like, I would say $60. Maybe a little bit less. 45 US dollar. But if you are using ad block, he's making zero. Zero, chat.
See if you have a good experience, and then maybe you have a horrible experience. And the reason why you have a horrible experience is because you have no experience at it. And
Temet, thank you very much for the $10 donation. JavaScript. Was it the mustache accident, brother? Thank you very much for the $10, dude. Much appreciated. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. The mustache accident. Listen, I'm watching some of this video, and sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm trying to learn. Like, did I make a mistake when I was speaking in English and stuff, whatever? Because some of the comments on my videos are like, wow, we can't even understand a word of your English. Like, you suck. Oh, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, back in my head, I'm like, okay, I need to improve my English a little bit because some of those guys are still not happy, right?
you go and you look at how libraries do it and how other people.
Thanks a lot,
do it,
Temet.
Oh, wow. Oh, that makes total sense. I had this problem. Now I understand how they got here. It's the same thing with just using Linux. Linux is just vastly different than using something else. You're going to install Docker, and then Docker, when you try to run it, it's going to go, it doesn't work. And you're going to go, why doesn't it work? Because you need to create a Docker user group for Docker to be able to do these things. Okay, I'm going to create a user group. It still doesn't work because your user is not in the user group. And you're going to have to just do that. You're going to have to execute those two commands you always have to execute.
Yeah, but did you launch the Docker socket linked to the Docker service? This is my question, Chad. But if you don't know how it works, that's a bit complicated. So I agree with him. I agree with the fact that in every type of like endeavor you are on, trying to learn as much as vertically is important, right? Because he's going back to this point. But this analogy, even if I like it because I love Linux, I think it's going too far. It's way harder than that. Like this part here. The world is full of free invitation to self-improvement that are ignored by most people most of the time. Even if it's true, I think it doesn't mean that Linux is good for you. For example, if you were a programmer, it could be good for you. It could be good for you. But for anybody else, I'm not sure it's good for you. You know what I mean? Because here there is directly like a link between exercising is healthy. Like it has been proved like scientifically that if you exercise more, you're gonna become more healthy, right? Same with the junk food. Obviously, like reading is gonna help your education. Like there is other way to learning, but for the last like 25 centuries, like reading is kind of important, I would say. So you're not reinventing the wheel here. But the real question is like, is really Linux beneficial for you? I don't know. That's another debate, right?
When installing Docker, you just need to know why they happen. And it's good. It's good for you. It helps you become better at computers and faster and nicer.
Yes, this is true. This I agree.
You get things at a more fundamental level. And the more you get things at a more fundamental level, the better life typically is for a programmer. Right? I mean, look at this.
Yeah, okay. So for a programmer, I would say yes, it might help. But you could be like in a world where you are just at the top of the stack and you don't need to go deep and you don't really need Linux. Like you don't need to run a desktop because what I would say on top of that is like running a desktop on Linux is still like really far from running server. So I have a little experience of running server on Linux, and I still had to learn a lot when switching to the desktop. There is things obviously that stay the same because it's still Linux, but the desktop is a total different world. So I'm originally from New York City. It will take a much, much worse accent to make you unintelligible for me. Thanks, man. Your English is fine. Thank you very much. That's why I don't use ad block. I don't like ads, but this is how the creator I'm watching makes their money. So that's the least I can do. Yep.
This person's obviously done it enough times that just knows it right off the rip. Anyways.
He put the link there, dude. That's fun. You know, I'm really thinking we're going to do more like server type of content soon.
I really like this article. I really do like this article. Because I think for a long time I was kind of scared about Linux. When I was deploying my first ever startup, it was a Linux machine, it was a LAMP stack, and I always felt so confused using it. Now it feels like the terminal just feels like the natural place I should be.
Yeah, I agree with that too, dude. I agree. I was also scared about the terminal like years ago. But then when you go into it, you realize like this is the only way. Like this is the only way, chat. Depending on what you do on your machine, this is the only way is the terminal. And I'm not a programmer, like I'm nobody, right?
Name is the Primeagen.
Okay. So guys, go see this gentleman. The Prime Time, the Prime Agent. I think he has this Twitch too. So, yeah. That was fun. That was fun, huh, chat? I liked it, dude. I liked it. Maybe we're gonna do a video about it. I might have to stop. Guys, I'm telling you, I was really thinking that I will be playing today, but I'm not going to play. I have a hard stop in like 15 minutes. So let me check. Maybe we can give it a try real quick. Wait. Okay, so it's Pirate Software. Pirate Software AI. Short. So AI code. That's the name of the. Oh, so it's this one. AI code.
Yeah, one of the things that you'll find that's really weird about this, right? Like we've talked to people who are using AI-generated code, and they're like, "Hey, I'm a programmer, and it would take me like maybe 1 hour to go and produce this thing, and maybe just make your game."
Oh, no.
Yeah, one of the things that you'll find that's really
Sorry,
weird
chat.
about this, right? Like we've talked to people who are using AI-generated code, and they're like, "Hey, I'm a programmer, and it would take me like maybe 1 hour to go and produce this thing, and maybe like 15 minutes to debug." And then they were like, "Oh, the AI would produce it in like 1 minute, and then it would take me like 3 hours to debug."
Bro. Bro, look at this. This is so true. It took me 1 minute for the AI to do the code, but 3 hours to debug. It took me 1 hour to code it, but 15 minutes to debug. You will also enjoy more server content. You like that? Okay, like home lab type of things. Yeah, like barely use Linux, just install Arch manually, and the terminal become natural to me. Even in Windows, I use PowerShell now. Whoa!
And they're like, "Yeah, but it produced it really fast." It's like, dude, you're losing so much efficiency using this just dog shit code. And then a lot of the times what they found is once they got past that debugging phase, they're like, "Oh shit, it doesn't even integrate. I have to go do it myself anyway." And you're like, "God damn it, dude." Yeah.
So, okay, chat. So that's such a good take, right? So obviously I'm not a programmer, but sometimes I have to do my own little like bash script for some of the things I do on my server and stuff. But I have to say that for someone like me, who do like really simple tasks, right? AI has been awesome, chat. It has been awesome. Maybe one day we're going to do a full stream on how you could use AI on Linux on a daily basis. That could be a good one, no, chat? I just need to find a way to connect my server like in a nice way there and present it to you guys. But so what I've done, and that's why I always recommend NVIDIA card. I had a 1390, right? And what I did, I repurpose it and put it in one of my server, and I use it for AI. Okay, when I say AI, is like, let me show you. The first thing I was using it for was generating like those thumbnails. You see those thumbnails are cool there? Like this is the type of generation I could do. Like this will take me like maybe 5 minutes to generate something nice like that, okay? Or like this one here is pretty neat. This one too. All the other I do by hand. But this one, you see this Ubuntu? Someone was asking about Ubuntu, dude. Look at this. Look at this AI, like, or this one. Look, the Linux community, dude. So my point is that... Oh, wait, I need some juice. Give me 1 second. Well, I don't have juice in my mouth anymore. Okay. I started like that, but then I discovered, so I'm going to show you. So it's called Ollama, chat. This is really good. Get up and reading with large language model. So Ollama, yeah, I don't want to get too deep into this one, but like with my 1390 now, I can load like really large model into it and do whatever I want with it and use it like a ChatGPT, for example, locally. And so obviously, like you could do it on ChatGPT, but here it's more private. It's yours. You know, you can say whatever stupid thing you want to say there. Ask stupid question. You know, nobody's gonna say like, "Oh, Air Max, he sucks at coding Bash and whatever." But this is awesome, dude. This is awesome because you would like put a code down there, and it would analyze the code and repeat it depending on what your needs are. And I have to say, this is really, really, really good. So AI make average code. You didn't show this short. Oh, there is another short. Okay, so but I think we got the idea there, right?
Just make your get. And don't worry about AI taking over the comp sci arena. No one believes that is actually programming today. Because AI is a mess. It's a complete mess. The problem with AI right now is that it has to train on training model data in order to do things. And it takes the most average code and produces very average code as well with extra flaws. And then people take that and they put it back into the source. Guess what happens? What we call training. So it just turns into shit over and over and over again. And guess what you end up having to have? A human being in the middle of this process to curate it. Oh, it's almost like the AI didn't actually solve anything. Great. Just make your guess.
So, okay, I tend to agree with that too. Like, it's not perfect, but for the basic stuff, I'm telling you, it's really good, chat. It's actually good, dude. Like, I'm guessing at this level where you have to like crazy code stuff, but I see the AI as a perfect assistant. You know? You don't think that AI is gonna become the CEO of your life. You know what I mean? It's not going to take the big decision, see the big line, understanding all the nuance. Like, this is not what it is. But it will be more like, you know, your assistant, your intern. And you will be like, okay, bro, I need that to be done. But you're going to have to be smart enough to ask this assistant or this intern the right question and know what are the limitations of your assistant or intern to really make it worth your time versus you doing it. And I think this is where, you know, like the high expectation between the public and what it really is, there is this huge gap, right? It's huge. Now, what I would like to say is that you will be surprised. You will be surprised how good it is when you understand what you need and when you understand the limit of it. You know what I mean? Like if you understand those limits, you have no idea how fast it goes. So I'm conflicted about AI because I don't want to train AI to make it good at what stupid thing somebody else decide to use it for. But if it's not trained, it's totally useless. Yes. I get your point. I still think AI is great, dude. Like with time, you have to think if we train it correctly, it will be a game changer in every work. It's already happening. Like it's already happening. But like, you know, it is what moving from a typewriter to a computer kind of was. It doesn't make the guy who type smarter, but it just makes it easier to do basic tasks. I don't know if it actually makes sense, right? Like when you go from like writing a text on a typewriter to a Word document office, it's gonna make your life easier to correct, to make paragraph, to put everything in line, like to create the document itself. But it doesn't mean that what is gonna be in the document is gonna be smarter or not. This is what I'm trying to explain. So we are at the next step right now, where you actually don't need to type the document. Someone else is gonna type it for you, but you still need to be behind it to direct it in the right direction. Oh, I remember this guy. It's a fake dev who is literally, in reality, a Python script kiddo. Hey, Bader Vance, please, like, don't start with those type of, you know, like comment. Come on, please. This is not the right place to do that. If you have a problem with this dude, like, just talk to him. But like, ditching someone on my stream is not the right place to be. So it's the first and last time I will say that. They're all true now, but in a couple of years, it will follow over breakthrough technologies and start being actually good. It's actually not bad right now. It is not bad. It just depends how you use it. I can see AI being good for shaders in the future. The real game changer will be AI NPC. Like, hey, what are you looking at? Don't touch me. Yes, it's already... I've seen a demonstration where a guy was showing an AI into a game, which was all like done locally with an NVIDIA card. It was awesome, chat. Like the guy, like, I don't know if I can find this video. AI demonstration in-game NVIDIA. Yeah, this was this one, I think. Generative, yes, this is it. Generative, dude. This one was just insane. This one was just insane. It already exists it's a mod for Skyrim? No way. Bro. This is awesome, chat.
Our latest collaboration is with Convey, a developer platform that enables
look at this. I don't know if you ever looked at that, but this is crazy.
The platform features a set of tools and APIs to create character personas and enable dynamic conversations leveraging the new NVIDIA Audio2Face and Riva microservices. Let's take a look.
Like, look at this, guys. This is just crazy.
In this demo, we're back in the ramen shop with Jin, except this time, we're joined by Nova, a cybersecurity expert in our
This is crazy, man.
World. Let's listen in as these two AI game characters have a generated conversation.
Nova, you ever get that uncanny feeling we're like those AI constructs from the old sci-fi flicks? But nah, we're too quirky for that.
The cool thing is, the conversation's different every time.
Every time.
For it, Jin. I think we're just too real to be anything but flesh and blood. You're not wrong, Jin. Sometimes I wonder if we're all just part of some elaborate cybernetic dream. If we were AIs, I'd be the one cracking jokes about the singularity over a bowl of ramen.
Bro, like, do you get it? Do you get it, chat? Do you get how crazy it's gonna be soon? I'm telling you, this is going to be insane. So obviously we're talking about gaming here, but you find the Skyrim mod more impressive? And that's just a mod? Listen, like, this is going to be a game changer, like this type of things. Both character looks at you. We see you, Ermax. Yes. But, so this was a video, but I don't want to play all of it, but the idea is like, the guy was asking a question.
Thanks, Jin.
Yeah, watch.
Nope.
Jin, you hear that? Nova just landed a big contract. Let's break out the good stuff.
You got it, Kai. Nova's success calls for the top shelf celebration. Just don't expect this to become a habit.
Okay. So now within the game, he can use his mic to talk to the guy, and the guy answer him. Like think about it.
Thanks, Jin. So Nova, have you been playing any games recently?
I've been testing this cool game tech on a secret new GPU that's launching very soon. I can't talk about it here, but I can show you at the lab.
Wow, that sounds super cool. Yeah, I'd love to see the game tech. Let's go back to your lab.
Absolutely. Follow me and prepare to be blown away by what you're about to see.
Bro! But like, dude! Like, do you understand where we are at, chat? Like, you can speak. You can speak. And we can have exchange. So, the way I believe it's gonna work. So, I don't know where we are at, right? Like, you could like do that, and they can send the question to a huge like server with everything, right? It wouldn't run maybe locally. That's my fault.
With Convey's latest framework, game characters can now interact with the scene by fetching objects and navigating the world, all based on your conversation.
Bro, like this is, to me, this is crazy. Cyberpunk next part with a real AI model inside the game world as AI. Like, is this gonna change the way we game, dude? So the hardware needed to run will be expensive. It doesn't have to be. Because it could be linked to their server and they could run it over there. Or they could have model AI, which are like super small and super specialized, right? Because what makes the model really big right now is they're like really wide, right? You can do everything with the model. But I've seen some trained model which are like super small in size, and they could be put on your graphic card and maybe run locally. I don't know. But what I've seen is like you can actually like how do they call that? Optimize. Yes, it's model optimization. They can optimize the model, which means they can take a certain part of how to explain it. The correct word is parameter. So they could really focus on the parameter which are really important within the model and alleviate the size of it to make it really like specialized in something. So you wouldn't need a huge machine to run it. That would be my take on it. Am I to believe that this is not a scripted event? It's not scripted, dude. It's not scripted. It is not. Like, this is literally... Because this is what would happen with ChatGPT already. Like, I don't know if you ever used AI, but AI right now is acting like that. Like, if you have an AI model, I discovered that maybe less than a year ago with my 3090 because I didn't want to, go deep with ChatGPT and stuff. I thought I had no interest in it. But like, since I have on this AI, like, I think it's really good. You can go and type like, hey, what's up? And ChatGPT or whatever AI you have would just respond. And then you can have a conversation. It's actually awesome. Awesome. It's actually awesome from a standpoint of like where we are at right now in terms of like this technology. It's pretty good, chat. So yeah, maybe one day we're going to do a stream about it. Do you think the coming integrating NPU will help with this? I don't know. I want to see the result. I want to see the actual result. Because what we have seen now, there is a trick, dude. What we have seen at the conference from NVIDIA and, you know, whatever things they are doing over there, it kind of tell me that, and maybe I'm totally wrong, like their model are really small. Or there is something which has to be connected to internet to make them run. It's like, for example, like if you have a phone, okay, like I have a phone, it's a Google phone. It has been 1 year, I have AI on it, but nothing is run locally. You will ask a question and it will connect to Google server to answer it. So is the NPU really running locally, or is it pushing some stuff locally and then has the help from server? Because in their presentation, they really talk about software. So I don't know. I'm really curious to see how it really works. What I know is like if you want to run something locally, you need a beast right now. And of course, it's only valid in English. I would like to see you try this in French or me in Dutch or accent in English. It would work. So the AI I run locally understand like all the language I tried to talk to. So if I ask a question in French and ask the AI, to answer me in English, no problem. In German, Italian, whatever I want to do. So the language is not a problem at all, dude. Like this is peanuts for the AI right now. You told me what was this? What is this? Anyway, I'm out, chat. Google Assistant don't understand your English. Oh no. So right now I've been using it with typing only, but even when I make mistake by typing, the AI is able to handle it. So I'm thinking like if they work on that, they would be able to understand like accent in general and everything. It's actually a pretty good technology. Guys, I am out. So tomorrow, if everything goes well, I'm going to be publishing a video about Deadlock. And yes, so Deadlock tomorrow and Friday, I don't know what we're going to do. I know Sunrise Springroll was asking me like if I have other distro in the pipeline, but I really don't. I think maybe on Friday we're going to be just gaming. You know? Just gaming on Friday, like go straight into it. I want to play this Wukong game. Guys, thank you very much for all the love today. We got donation. We got a lot of love. Guys, you have no idea how much it helps. So thank you very much for that. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, and blah, 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 blah. Again, thanks for all the one who are supporting the channel. You guys are the best. I'm not even kidding. See you on the next one. And as always, bisous, bisous. Take care, guys. See you on Friday. Thanks for watching again.